Yo, this is Christian Madrid, back with another video with my good friend Mark, back-to-back videos. And next up, we are going to talk about our top 5 favorite athletes of all time. This can be from any sport: football, basketball, baseball, hockey, tennis, golf, wrestling, boxing, whatever.
Just any name that you've ever heard of.
All the sports. We're going to give you our top 5, and we're going to discuss, debate, talk about why we think the other person's wrong or right, you know.
No, he's definitely wrong.
But let's get to it now, yo. Alright, y'all, so here we go. So we are going to break down our top 5 favorite, best athletes of all time, whatever you want to say. I'm going to let Mark go first since he's a guest on the show. So, top 5 athletes, ready, go!
Alright, guys, so in my opinion, the top 5 best athletes of all time it's kind of scattered a little bit from sport to sport. But I first off want to start off with some several honorable mentions that I'm going to leave out from my top 5. I mean, they're probably like borderline top 10, in the top 10. But some big names that I want to point out that I'm going to leave off my list are starting off with Kobe Bryant. Obviously, rest in peace to him and the 8 others that were killed in the tragedy in Calabasas. Rest in peace to Kobe Bryant. But I am going to leave him out of my top 10 because I just don't feel like he dominated his sport like he did with 2 other guys. I mean, as if it's not obvious already. Like 2 other guys in the sport of basketball. I also want to mention Bo Jackson as an honorable mention because, I mean, it's so rare nowadays to see a professional athlete like Bo Jackson to really excel in both basketball and baseball. Even though he wasn't never really like a superstar, it was just impressive how he managed to play both sports at the same time, and still do decent at least. And yeah, so I want to leave those 2 off the list, but they are an honorable mention. It was hard to leave them off. But number 5, I would say Serena Williams, best women's tennis player of all time. I mean, come on, she's already one of the greats. She is one of the greats, one of the greatest athletes of all time. Mm-hmm. Everybody's gonna know her name by the time she's done, which, I mean, she's almost pretty much done. I don't know too much about tennis. I don't keep up with statistics as much as I do with the 3 major sports, which brings me to my number 4 guy on the list, who is Tom Brady. He just retired today. Best football player of all time. He is the GOAT, best quarterback. Nothing but respect for that guy. He's dominated ever since he came into the league. I mean, he was like in the Super Bowl, like two seasons after he came in, or 3 seasons after he came into the league. Somewhere right around there. Number 199 pick. And, I mean, come on, he's just the GOAT. At number 3 on my list, I got LeBron James. I mean, if you want the body of an athlete, like I've told him, if you want the body of an athlete, you want LeBron James' body. His longevity, he invests like $1 million into his body every single year. I mean, it's just crazy. He's just such an influential figure. By the time he's done, I feel like we don't really appreciate him at the point that he really deserves right now. Like, I'm talking like as a sportsman as a whole, because, I mean, we're probably not going to see another LeBron James again. At number 2, I have Muhammad Ali. Again, I don't have the most clear statistics with him, but, I mean, everybody knows who Muhammad Ali is. He won like over 70 fights. He did lose about 5 fights, but, I mean, Muhammad Ali, he was just probably the best boxer of all time, arguably, which is what many would say. So yeah, I have Muhammad Ali at number 2. At number 1 on my list, who else but Michael Jordan? Nobody dominated their sport better than Michael Jordan. I mean, he retired like 3 times, and he still dominated every single time after retirement. But yeah, number 1 on my list, I got Michael Jordan. I mean, is it really arguable? I mean, come on. Michael Jordan, number 1, 6-0 in the finals. You can't beat that. You can't beat the GOAT of all sports, Michael Jordan. Just a legend.
True that, you got a point, which leads into my top 5. Now, I want to do the honorable mention. That was a great idea for the honorable mentions. I want to say, yeah, Kobe Bryant and Bo Jackson would both be honorable mentions for me, you know, because they are great athletes in their fields. Bo Jackson played 2 sports, I mean, and dominated when he was in the league, you know, football and baseball. The only athlete to ever be an all-star in 2 different sports. And Kobe Bryant, I mean, rest in peace. I mean, especially those 8 people that, you know, in that crash that Mark said. It's really unfortunate. We lost, you know, one of the greatest basketball players of all times. You know, I was at the Pro Bowl when that happened, and I heard them say over the announcements, you know, that was very sad and devastating. And also, I would like to say Hulk Hogan as an honorable mention, you know. Yeah, Hulk Hogan, you know, and John Cena. You know, I got to add those wrestlers. There was a great honorable mention. At least honorable mention, you know. I'd say Serena Williams a good honorable mention, too. I don't think she'd be top 5, but she's a great honorable mention, you know. You know, she's a great tennis player, you know. As Mark said, I don't know too much about tennis, too, other than, you know, there's a green ball, you hit it with a paddle and all that, you go back and forth, you know, and you get points and shit like that, you know. But, you know, it's great, you know, that she's at top of her game. But so now, here are my top 5 favorite athletes. Also on LeBron James. He's not in my top 5. I think he is.
What?
He's not in my top 5 best athletes. You know, he's a great athlete. You know, don't get me wrong. Great basketball player. You know, but I don't think he's top 5. You know.
All right, we can end the video.
But he's a great athlete. You know.
Oh my God.
You know, every team he goes on, he seems to lead them to a champion. You know, but not always win. But he's still great athlete, but not top 5. So let me go to my top 5. Number 5, Tiger Woods. And you probably forgot about him. He just dominated golf. He's one of the only golfers that I know. I mean, Tiger Woods, you know, he goes left and right. That's what got not only, you know, people in general interested in golf, but just, yeah, he got people interested in golf. You know, again, you know, because not many people were really interested in golf. You know, some people thought, ooh, it's just boring, you know, just something you see on a Saturday night to fall asleep to, you know. But golf, you know, is a pretty good sport. And after seeing Tiger Woods, made me want to get a club and start going to the range and all that. You know, golf, you know, playing is not a bad sport. And Tiger Woods opened my eyes to that. And that's why he's number 5. At number 4, I think Muhammad Ali is number 4. He is a great athlete. He dominated his sport. You know, I've read several books on him, and his story is just so interesting. And they made a movie about him with Will Smith. It's a great movie. You know, also Will Smith played Serena Williams' dad in the movie.
What was his actual name?
You know, Muhammad Ali.
No, his actual name, like.
Oh, Cassius Clay. Yeah, Cassius Clay.
Yeah,
man, that is, you know, and then he changed to Muhammad Ali. You know, but. You know, again, you know, the Muhammad Ali movie with Will Smith, you know, and then Will Smith playing King Richard. Those are both great movies, you know. But Muhammad Ali, you know, just while he dominated his sport, yeah, he lost 5 fights. But, I mean, when you fight in over 80, 90 fights, you're bound to lose a couple. Then, and that's only like, so he basically won like 90 to 80% of his fights. Like, between 80 and 90% of his fights, which is great. And that's why he's number 4 for me. At number 3, I think Babe Ruth. He is the original dominator in sports. I mean, before him, no one dominated the sport like he did. I mean, he changed the face of baseball forever.
He was also fucking drunk.
I mean, yeah, he was drunk. He was fucking fat as fuck. But he still dominated his sport. You know, he didn't use PEDs and all that. By the end of his career, he could barely run, obviously. They had to, when he would hit a home run, he went to first base and then they had a runner go across. But, man, Babe Ruth, he was still a great hitter. He can hit out of any ballpark, and he changed the face of baseball. When some people stopped watching because of the Black Sox scandal shit, he brought the people back with the home runs and all that.
Bullshit.
And, you know, no athlete could have done that but him, you know. What do you mean bullshit? Bullshit?
Like, how do you know that people ran away from baseball after the Black Sox scandal?
Because, you know, everyone was, yeah. You know, I read several books on Babe Ruth, too. I saw the Babe movie, great movie with John Goodman. You know, all that numerous, you know, statistics. You know, people, you know, just like when the strike happened in 94, people was tuned out of baseball then.
Okay,
but then
yeah,
McGwire and Sosa brought them back, just like with Babe Ruth. You know, people would tune, well, you didn't have much TVs back then, but people stopped going to the games because of the Black Sox scandal. So people stopped going to the games and watching them. But then Babe Ruth brought him back because, you know, everyone wants to see Babe Ruth. You know, they want a shot. You know, Yankee games were sold out. I mean,
I'm gonna watch.
You know, great.
I'm looking into that.
Great. Oh yeah, you definitely should. You know, because I don't lie here. But anyways, that is my number 3, Babe Ruth. Number 2, it could be either one of these athletes. You know, they're both great athletes, but I am gonna go with Tom Brady at number 2. You know, Tom Brady, it just seems like he can go on any team and win a Super Bowl, and he proved that with the Bucks. When he went on the Bucks, first year, won him a Super Bowl. Bill Belichick is a great coach. You know, yeah. But, I mean, he couldn't have done it without Tom Brady, and I don't think Tom Brady could have won Super Bowls without Bill Belichick on the Patriots. But I think Tom Brady was more of a useful asset, you know, but Bill Belichick, one of the greatest coaches of all time, no doubt about it. But Tom Brady, the greatest quarterback of all time, the greatest football player of all time, 7 rings. That is remarkable in itself. Like, Tom
Bill
Brady.
Russell at 10 or 11.
Like, yeah, I mean, like, the only thing I could critique about him is that, why didn't you choose the Cowboys? You could have got us a Super Bowl ring. I mean, we would have gave you more money.
Yeah, that was kind of
I
random.
mean, yeah, we would have gave you more money. I mean, but anyways, I respect you, Tom Brady. It's just sad that you're retiring, But anyways, at number 1, I agree with Mark here. Michael Jordan is the greatest athlete of all time. He dominated basketball, changed the face of basketball forever. There was great players before him, like Bill Russell, Wilt Chamberlain, Jerry West, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, but none of them could compare to Michael Jordan. He was bigger than basketball, He came out with shoes, Jordan shoes, None of those basketball players before could market shoes and have people wanting to wear them, He's been in movies like Space Jam, the actual good one, not the shitty one with LeBron James, but the actual good one, And then his basketball playing itself, 6 NBA titles and never lost in the finals. Never went to a game 7. He has to be the greatest athlete of all time. And how many athletes do you know would show up and beat you in a basketball game after talking shit, which what he did in 1999. I forgot what the player's name was, but there was one player on the Bulls. He was talking shit on Michael Jordan, and then some players on the Bulls, let Michael Jordan know he was talking shit. He was saying, "Oh, I'm better than Jordan." Michael Jordan, he showed up to that practice. He beat that basketball player's ass in the basketball game. Beat him. He said, "Never talk shit on my name again." How many basketball players do you know would do that? LeBron James certainly wouldn't do it. He would probably cry and be like, he's talking shit on me. But Michael Jordan won. He would shut them up real quick. And that's why he is the greatest athlete of all time. I agree with Mark on that.
I think if you have in your time, like what I'm talking about is the 90s, if you have people from China knowing and talking about your name and that's all they would ever talk about, then you have to be one of the greatest athletes of all time already. I mean, you just have to.
Definitely. Michael Jordan not only was the greatest basketball player of all time, he's one of the most famous athletes of all time, especially in the 90s, one of the most famous and known people of the 90s. You can put him up there with all the great, like up there with Tupac, Kurt Cobain, all those great stars of the 90s. Michael Jordan, he could do it all, and he's definitely the greatest athlete. Tom Brady, he's close up there with Brady. Brady was close with Jordan, my bad. It was just hard for me to pick, but I had to pick Michael Jordan at the end of the day, because Tom Brady, great quarterback, but not every season he dominated the league. He dominated in the postseason. This is so tough, him and Michael Jordan are definitely the greatest postseason athletes of all time, which is very hard to do because usually the greatest stars that in all sports, like Clayton Kershaw, choke in the playoffs when it comes down to it. Every single Cowboys quarterback ever since Troy Aikman has choked in the playoffs. So it's not easy playing in the playoffs, all the pressure on the fans watching it, but these two do it like it's nothing. They're absolute pros when it comes to the postseason, which is very rare for an athlete, and that's why they're number 1. Not only were they good in the regular season, but in the postseason too. Just wow, remarkable, yeah.
I also want to mention that some up-and-coming athletes that may that at least have a shot of reaching anyone's top 5 list. I just want to mention Patrick Mahomes. I mean, the guy's dominating already ever since his second year in the league. He's been dominating the league. He did, though, kind of hurt his already legacy by losing to the Bengals in the AFC Championship series. But yeah, I mean, he's still got plenty of years ahead. He hasn't shown any signs of slowing down at all. And another player that I also want to mention is Shohei Ohtani. I mean, he's just a player that you only see. He's the kind of athlete that you only see once every lifetime. Both are good at both sides of the ball. I mean, hopefully he has the longevity in him too, because a player like that only lasts so long, and not to mention excelling at it. So
the modern day Babe Ruth, because Babe Ruth also pitched too. So.
Yep. So yeah, there's a couple athletes that I would like to mention. You have any?
I have a few athletes too. Yes, definitely those two are great honorable mentions that could be on this list in the future if we were to do it 5, 10, maybe 20 years from now. Also, I would like to mention Blaze Jordan. He has not played a single MLB game, but I see great potential for him to be that bigger than baseball, bigger than life, figure in the sports world. I think he's gonna do that for baseball, not only because he's a Red Sox, but he's just Blaze Jordan.
It's only because he's a Red Sox.
13 years old. 13 years old. He was in over 500-foot home runs at Arlington Park, one of the hardest baseball parks to hit a home run in itself. And he hits 500-foot ball in dead center. That's unreal, unheard of. What a 13-year-old could do that? I mean, come on now. I mean, yes, dude. He has got the potential, you know.
I think it's important to note that we're not just talking about players that would be the best in their sport. So like what I'm saying is the best baseball players of all time. But I mean, we're talking best athletes. No,
Yeah, that's
way
what I'm
plays
talking
Jordan.
about. But
No
he
way
could be.
plays
I mean,
Jordan.
I see the potential. I'm not talking about just one of the best baseball players, one of the best
Come
athletes,
on,
you know, of
dude.
his time. We will see. Only time will tell. And also another honorable mention I like to say is Joe Burrow.
That was
You know,
oh God,
you know,
dude.
Joe Burrow.
Fucking motorboating
you
them.
What? Oh, no, but I can see potential since he's going to the Super Bowl with the Bengals. You know, this year that'll be exciting to see. You know, because this is his second year. He already beat Patrick Mahomes.
He makes me not want to
dethroned
like
him.
Joe Burrow.
You know,
I swear to God.
he dethroned Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes on
No,
the
he
top of
did
that
not.
throne.
No, he did
Now
not.
Joe Burrow's on that fucking
Did
throne
not,
now. He's on the
no,
throne.
No, he did not.
Yeah.
With that logic, are you saying that Eli Manning dethroned Tom Brady? No, he didn't.
Of course not. No.
Come on. You're better than that.
No, I'm not saying that, but you know, Joe Burrow, you know, come on now, like he dethroned because they're in the same league, they play the same people. You know, Eli Manning just beat him a couple games in the Super Bowl, which is great. You know, Eli Manning is like one of the only quarterbacks that can do that. You know, he's a good quarterback. I definitely think he's a Hall of Famer, Eli Manning. Maybe not first ballot. You know, Peyton Manning for sure is a first ballot, but I think Eli Manning should be in there since 2 Super Bowl rings. Yeah. But not a top 5 athlete, of course, you know. So that's my top 5, you know, Tiger Woods, Muhammad Ali, Babe Ruth, Tom Brady, and Michael Jordan. Those are my top 5, you know, athletes. Yeah.
Serena Williams, Tom Brady, LeBron James.
You had Muhammad Ali in there.
Muhammad Ali.
Yeah.
And Michael Jordan.
Yeah, Michael Jordan. Yeah, those are
no debate.
Yeah.
He's the best athlete.
I mean, with your top 5, my top 5, there's similarities, but for the most part, I mean, we had similarities, but there's some, you know, differences. You know, Serena Williams, you think she's a better athlete than Tiger Woods?
I think they're right around the same. Yeah, they're very similar skill-wise, from what I know at least.
I mean, she is a very talented.
I just give respect where it's due. You feel me?
No, very talented. Also, another female athlete I have to give an honorable mention. I almost forgot Ronda Rousey. She's not only great at UFC, but WWE too. I mean, she could cross into 2 different. Also, Brock Lesnar too. He's done the same thing too. You know, those are some other athletes I want to give honorable mentions. You know, they are great at fighting. They will whip your ass. You know, so don't fuck with them. Yeah, but that's all I got. You got anything else you want to say? Any more athletes you want to give shout outs to?
That's about it. Other than keep an eye out for Patrick Mahomes, Shohei Ohtani,
and Joe Burrow.
Oh my God.
And Blaze
Although
Jordan.
I do want to say that going back to the Joe Burrow versus Patrick Mahomes, I can see that being more of like a Eli Manning versus Tom Brady type of situation. You know, how Tom Brady kept getting beat by Eli Manning and the Giants. You know, maybe we might see Patrick Mahomes keep getting beat by Joe Burrow and the Bengals. So
I don't know.
Interesting. Only time will tell, like you said.
I don't know. We'll see. But once again, you know, those are the top 5 greatest athletes of all time. Thank you guys so much for watching the video. Let us know what you guys want us to talk about next. We're open to talk about any sport, any athlete, you know, anything that sports related. Me and Mark, you know, like, comment, subscribe to Madrid videos. Tell your family and friends. And that's it. See ya, y'all. Peace.